Okay, so today's member spotlight is Fred Gillen from More Marketing Ideas. Take it away, Fred.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Jay. I suppose one of the things I'll do, I'll talk a little bit about my business, but I'll also talk a little bit about marketing as well. So why did I get into business? Well, I've worked in various roles over the years and many decades. And I started life as an electrician, as a tradie. And then I moved into retail, where I opened up a retail store and imported PC bits and pieces from Taiwan and built PCs and sold them under a brand name of Giltronic. And we ran that when there was money in selling computers. And we were making somewhere between 300 and 400% markup on items we were selling, and this is in the mid 80s. So that kind of tells you how old I am, or gives you an indication. Anyway, from there I went into networking, but it wasn't this kind of networking. It was actually cabling, because I took my electrical experience and rolled out cables for lots of networking for computers in small offices like accountants and tool makers and stuff like that, when people started to connect computers together. And that got me into corporate, because I took that experience and then went into rolling out major deliveries of PCs and IT infrastructure I worked for Digital, I worked for Compaq and HP, and worked in a lot of government departments, and more recently in a lot of the building arena as well. So one of the major rollouts we did was moving Porter Davis from all the satellite offices into a greenfield site in the city, in Docklands in the city. And that was a 6-month contract. Nothing was in that on that floor when we started. And when we finished, the 400 people moved in over 2 weekends with no hiccups. So it was well planned. And that's really what I'm about. It's all about project management and making sure that if you plan right, you will deliver. So it's have a look at what you want to achieve in your business and write that down, because unless you have an end game in mind, you're not going to achieve it. If you're just plodding along and thinking that you're going to achieve something, nothing will happen. You'll just keep plodding along. So, and that's where we go with our digital marketing agency, because what I do is I help small businesses understand what their end game is. And we have a chat and we have a strategy and we put that in place. And when we know what the end game is, then we start at the beginning. And that may be building a website. It may not be building a website. It may be using some other means. Like, for example, in some cases, we might just do Facebook pages or Facebook campaigns to help build the business, to get them started. So it doesn't necessarily all work around websites. It's all about a strategy of what you want to achieve in your business. And unless you know the outcomes, you're just not going to get there. So that's really what we do, what makes us a little bit different. We actually look at the end game in mind and then talk to the people and see how we can achieve that. And we deliver that in three ways. We actually obviously have a done for you system where we actually go in and we do everything, and the person just runs their business and we do all the marketing and we do the websites and we do the lead generation and we do the conversions and we do the follow-up. But then it's up to them to actually manage the sale. So what we do is we make sure that they get qualified leads into their business so they can manage the sale. The next option they have is obviously we could do it together. So we can show them what we're doing and help them understand the process and do that. And the last option is obviously we've got a do-it-yourself option where we offer training so the person can buy packages where we can show them what to do stage by stage and how to achieve those things. So I know that's probably a brief spotlight on our business. One of the things, and have I got share screen option? Jay? Yeah, I have. Okay, let me just share the screen, and I hadn't, whoops. One of the things that, if I go to my profile, just let me open this. One of the things that we actually use to talk about helping people get business, because if you want to do any kind of general lead generation, one of the easiest way to get leads is to obviously use Facebook. And one of the tricks in Facebook is that if you go and comment, and you should, if you want to really generate leads at no cost, one of the easiest ways is to make about 50 contacts a day on new friends in Facebook. And the way to do that is to go into any group that's associated with your business, make comments in those groups, but helpful comments, not just hi, how are you, or whatever. And the first thing that if you make a comment on anybody's post, normally what they will do is they will check out your personal profile to see who you are, what you do, and why you actually made the comment. And what we'll actually do is if you actually look at my profile, you'll actually see that I've changed the banner here recently. And one of the tricks in Facebook is that if you change your banner, most of your followers will get notified. So if you change your profile picture or your banner, people normally get notified. So it's one way of getting a message out there. And if you put a banner up with a call to action on it, like learn more or click here, and you can see on this here, I've actually got to click here to claim your free pass, because this is a group I've joined and they're offering a special deal, a Black Friday deal that can come down shortly. It's still valid. So I will be changing the banner at the end of this week. And one of the benefits, as I said before, of changing the banner is more people get notified. So if you change your banner once a month and as if it's got a call to action on it, when I click on this image, it's not actually a button and it doesn't actually do anything. But what if you click on any image in Facebook, it will open up a comment box. And when you open up the comment box, the first thing I've got in it is follow the link. So it's telling people what to do. And I'd encourage everybody to do this with any image you put up on Facebook. Because if you put any image up and somebody clicks on it, as I said, it opens up a comment box and it gives you the opportunity to generate a lead and get in contact with someone. So it doesn't matter how often you do it. I'd encourage people to change their banner image at least once a month. You could also change your profile image as well, and people will check that out. It's unlikely they would click on that profile image because it'll be a picture of you and not have a call to action. But in some cases, I will increase this call to action here and make it look like a real button. So it actually, put an image of a button up there that says learn more, call now, whatever it might be. But the whole idea is to get them to click on this image to open up this comment box that gives them an instruction to actually get in touch with you or follow your lead or start that lead generation cycle. So that's just a little bit about me and a couple of tips on how to get more business. And that's Fred Gillen, More Marketing Ideas. That's my spotlight opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Fred. Any comments or questions on that? No. Look, I'm actually going to throw one in, and it's something that Fred and I discuss this quite often. So Fred and I probably catch up, or probably 3-4 times a week, Fred. Yeah, and when we're talking about getting more leads, and Misty will agree with this. We've also had this conversation. It's not just about getting the leads; it's about what you do with those leads. So as Fred started off there, going, you've got to go in with a concept of where you're going. You can't fly by the seat of your pants. It's all well and good filling your sales funnel, but if you do not have a follow-up process to follow those through, you're wasting your time filling up a sales funnel, because people are just going to go cold and they're going to drop out of the funnel. And like I say, I've discussed this with Misty, the money's always in the follow-up. So always have a plan that once you've actually got them in that funnel and you've got those leads, what are you going to do to convert them into a sale? So Fred, thank you very much. Really enjoyed that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll just throw in there that not so much questions, but as far as what you've said, there's a couple of great tips there that I'd totally forgotten about. So thanks for sharing that.
Beautiful. Misty, you had your hand up now?
Yeah, I wanted to throw something in base of what you said, Jason, is I was chatting to someone the other day who makes websites, and he said he was checking out some other person's website because she pays, I don't know, over $1,000 a month, has done all year long, over $1,000 a month to get leads to her website. She sells tarot cards. And the other day she got a sale, $35 sale. He said he checked it out. She literally gets thousands of leads to her website every month. And he said, clearly they're sending the wrong leads to her. I said, isn't that interesting that you blame the website guy and not the salesman that's selling something? I said, you cannot tell me that someone who doesn't like tarot cards is clicking on her website. Like, seriously, only the people that click on that like it. So the right leads are coming to everyone. It's it's almost like the refusal to have the knowledge on how to speak to a person in the first place, That's a big deal. If you refuse to speak to people, if you're not practiced, if you can't say what you do, if you don't tell anyone and speak to people, it's a huge problem in the converting of sales. But I do believe that the digital management that other companies do and get paid for are doing all the right stuff, getting the right leads there, and they get wrongly blamed when the sales don't go through. Yep, Fred.
I'll chime in on that one. I had a client and the current client, and they ran a business, and they were using Google Ads Grant, which is available to not-for-profit. So, and if anybody's not aware of that, Google offer $10,000 per month advertising spend for any non-registered not-for-profit. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. But what was happening was she was complaining about the actual individuals that ran these ads for or designed the ads and said they weren't working. When I went and analyzed, and I actually knew this individual, and I know his operation, and the guy is spot on. Like, he's doing it for years. He's very experienced. He knows what he's doing. But when I went in and did the analytics on it, she was actually getting well over the expected number of response to that website. So there's two things in any lead generation. One is that when you send a message out and a call to action, whatever you want to call it, to get people to respond or to get people into your funnel, the messaging has to be congruent. In other words, whatever message you send out to get people to the website, what's on the website has to tell the same story. It can't be selling something different. And that was her issue. She was advertising something in the grants ad, but when they got to the website, it was talking about something totally different. Right? So it's not about just, and that's the lesson in any conversion. You've got to be congruent in your message and your story. Otherwise, the sales just won't happen, because people read what they read, you know, and if it's a different story, it's just not
that used to happen at Business at Breakfast. There was a particular person who used to come to Business at Breakfast, and I'd known him for years. He'd run his pitch every week. I said, just run the same pitch for a year. But then when he did a presentation, he'd do something else entirely. He said, because you already know what I do. And then I asked him about his one-to-ones. He was having 10 one-to-ones a week. I said, do you ever speak about travel? He goes, no, everybody knows what I do. I said, do you think that's why I don't have any customers? Yeah. Yeah. You've managed to talk about everything but what you do. And that's the problem, right?
Beautiful. Fred, thank you very much for your time.
No, great.